I gotta clarify, I think there was a mistake in my name. She said Darrell Wilson, and it's Darrell Wilcox, W-I-L-C-O-X. I'm the supervisor of Powell Township, and I've spoke at your hearing before, and the township has supported 595, but not as a dead-end road at the mine. If you go out and look at all your maps that you have up there and everything, the county's provided and that, it doesn't even show northern Marquette County. It's cut off. Powell Township is gone, Big Bay's gone, northernmost part of Marquette Township is, or Powell Township is not on there. They say about the economic benefit and that 595 and that'll bring to northern Marquette County. And the people in Humboldt and that spoke here earlier and said about how they needed the jobs and everything. And 595 is a dead-end primary road with no connection to Powell Township, even though the mine is 1 mile off. The Big Bay is the closest community to that mine. There's no there's no plan from the Marquette County Road Commission, per the Marquette County Road Commission, to upgrade 510 or AAA to make it viable for year-round traffic on that road. It's a seasonal road that will not be plowed per the Marquette County Road Commission. Kennecott did say that they would plow it, but that's not the issue. 595 is the issue, and the purpose of serving the people in northern Marquette County is the issue. And there is no public meeting with Kennecott at Powell Township. Kennecott stated that once 595 is constructed, there will be no commercial traffic allowed to that mine from County Road 550. That road will be closed. That means that we cannot have a business and operate anything from the mine. They said about emergency ambulance, fire and ambulance and everything in the township in northern Marquette County, and that right now Powell Township provides that, and that is 595 would benefit more area, but it would not be any better off than what, because people are still going to go to Marquette General depending on where on that road that would happen. But it's Marquette Hospital is a trauma center. Any trauma that happens up there and that is almost always diverted to Marquette General, not to Bell Hospital. Bell Hospital is a general ER. I represent 1,000 people, and like I said, it's been very much cut up, and there's it's taking our livelihood away.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening. I'm Michigamme Township Supervisor Alvar Mackey. That's A-L-V-A-R-M-A-K-I. Here we are once again speaking at another public hearing about the proposed County Road 595. Michigamme Township has supported mining and logging since 1872. This proposed road will serve both of these industries very well. It is essential for the safety of the public at large to have an alternative route for both log trucks and ore trucks. County Road 595 will drastically reduce their travel time on heavily traveled roads through highly populated areas. Another north-south route in the western end of Marquette County is also essential in case of a natural disaster like the Dead River flood, which trapped residents in the northern part of Marquette County. This is a haul road. The logging trucks will haul on it. The mining trucks will haul on it. The townships that it goes through will haul fire trucks, first responder vehicles, garbage trucks, and tax assessor vehicles on it. The Department of Natural Resources wildfire trucks will haul on this road. Marquette County Sheriff's Department and Michigan State Police will haul on this road, enforcing the laws of the land. Hunters will haul bait and game on this road. Tourists will haul loads of photos of the flora and fauna on this road. The bottom line is that this road will be used like any other road in Marquette County. To those who object to this road, I ask you how much your organization has contributed to the roads in Marquette County. $60 to $100 million of private investment in public infrastructure are unprecedented in Marquette County. In closing, I'd like to note that we who are elected by our constituents to represent them, whether it is on a federal level, state level, the county level, or a township level, have come here to speak the wishes of the majority of those who put us in office. Yet the decision on whether to approve this road rests in the hands of those who have never had to face the people in an election. We believe that the proposed wetlands mitigation is sufficient, so please remove your objection to his permit. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Bill Lietzo. I'm supervisor of Richmond Township and also president of the Marquette Township Association. I've been listening here tonight. I'm not going to read anything. I'm just going to say my piece here. And it starts with the state. It came from the governor, it came from the senator, it came from the representative. Now it comes from the county commissioners, and I represent townships. The bottom line is they're going to build us a road or pay for the road, let them build it. It's going to create jobs. That's what we need. Michigan is unique, just like Tom Casperson had mentioned earlier. We have the minerals here, so let's utilize them. Let's how would you say, cut corners and get the business and get this road built today. Thank you.
Gary Corkin,
County Commissioner representing the city of Negaunee Township, and here to request that you lift your objections. I'm not going to go through all the reasons that have been stated, but if your objections stand, there will never be another new road built in Marquette County or the Upper Peninsula. So this is very unprecedented what's going on here as far as these objections being put out there. So County Road 595 is a common sense solution to the long range transportation needs in Marquette County. So I appreciate very much if you do the right thing and remove your objections.
William Carlson, and I'm the supervisor for Negaunee Township, and I want to this evening on behalf of the Negaunee Township Board express the concern we have for the health and safety of our constituents and any person that travels through our community. The Marquette County Road Commission has, we believe, addressed all of the issues regarding the proposed route for County Road 595. The final route you will be considering for approval, we believe, is a win-win for all concerned. The alternative is County Road 550, Sugarloaf Avenue, Wright Street, and US 41, and it is not in the best interest of the health and safety of persons living along or traveling the route. The route has current issues with congestion, particularly within the city of Marquette and Marquette Township. The limestone, logging, gravel hauling, and construction traffic is an ongoing issue. Adding to the issue biofuel haulers for the new Northern Michigan University heating plant and the mine haulage vehicles will only compound the health and safety concerns. We have to remember we will not only be requiring traveling on a hauler road, but through a residential neighborhood and a college campus. Exhaust emissions from the large haul trucks as they slow down, start and stop up again, will impact the environment in these congested areas. Keeping the mine haulage on the proposed route will have a positive impact on the emission issue and congestion, and provide an alternative route for the timber haulers and Big Bay residents traveling to the south. Fuel conservation due to the shorter haul distance for the ore and timber hauler will be significant. Thank you.
My name is Rosa Musket. I live near the shores of Gitchigumi, Lake Superior, Marquette, Michigan. I inherited so far what's left of our natural ecology, environment. What will you tell your grandchildren? You work to leave a legacy of a healed community, a healthy land, the right to have untainted drinking water, fresh, breathable air, and there is nothing so desirable to trade it all. Thank you.
After Rosa to speak, and I don't see that person here. I don't
know that person.
Jean
I'm
Champagne.
Gene Champagne.
Yep.
Gene Champagne, Post Office Box 21, Big Bay, Michigan. First of all, thank you for being here and welcome to Kennecott County. I appreciate your patience as you sat here and listened to an hour and 10 minutes of politicians speak before citizens can get up and speak. I thank you for being here, and I'll start off by saying I agree with all the objections that you have raised, and I have a few more of my own that you might want to consider. I don't have the expertise to speak on the wetlands, but certainly for the alternative roads and what you call the least environmentally damaging practical alternatives, there are a couple of other ones that you proposed that are up there. They were not seriously looked at, and the reason they were not seriously looked at was shown again on your map, the end point and the start point. The end begins with Kennecott and it ends with Kennecott. The Marquette County Board the Kennecott County Board that's been pushing this did not object at all when the permit came out. They couldn't sign that permit fast enough. They didn't object to the County Road 550 being used one bit. And then the Woodland Road came out, and federal agency called it for what it was, a haul road for Kennecott. Now they've gotten, the county, Kennecott went to the Kennecott County Board, it went to the Kennecott County Road Commission, and here we have Kennecott Road 595. You can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. You have to, said you consider the purpose and need of this road. For that, you would need a Justice Department here to look at a fraudulent permit. One of the stated objects was improved economy in Marquette County.
7 years.
I live in the northernmost community of Big Bay in Marquette County, the northernmost township. No one up there was considered for this. Okay. There's no factor basis for this. There was no studies done, no 5-year plan, no 5-week plan. This was like a 5-minute plan when Woodland Road was dismissed, and all of a sudden it became imperative to develop northern Marquette County. My township stands to lose, and I'm not an advocate for putting them on 550 by any means. It shouldn't be 550 or 595. It should be the least damaging consideration, and there are least damaging considerations. The area that they are proposing to go through for some temporary jobs, and there will be jobs in other alternative roads too, but that area will be lost for generations. Generations of hunters, fishers, berry gatherers, people with camps, et cetera, et cetera. That's a rare thing that we have left, and that will be lost for generations, and there's no price you can put on that. Thank
Carla Champagne, and I think his last name is Luha. Luha? Carla, okay. Carla Champagne, Luha.
Well, Luha, I'm here in support of 595, and that's my only purpose here tonight. Thank you.
Hi, Carla Champagne, and I live in Big Bay. I approve of all your objections, and I do have one of my own, and that is that this road goes from the mine to the mill. The alternatives go from the mine to the mill. It is a haul road. It should be treated as a mine haul road. The permit should be denied because it is deceptive. They need to follow the law, Part 632, and whatever that entails, be it financial assurances, reclamation plans, contingency plans, whatever it is. It is a Rio Tinto haul road and should be treated as such. Thank you.
Margaret Comfort, Jim Douglas, Lillian Marks Hildreth, and Paul Rodia.
Margaret Comfort from Michigamme Township, beautiful Michigamme Township, originally from Saginaw, Michigan, on the banks of the docks and laced Tittabawassee River. When I was a young girl, and now with my nephews who cannot fish in this river, That is why I'm here. I'm not going to let this happen to the Upper Peninsula. I wish to make it known to you that on at least 4 separate occasions, I have asked the Marquette County Road Commission to produce their 5-year and 10-year plan showing the community's need for a road in the northwest section of Marquette County. To date, they have been unable to produce such a document, although they have assured me that such exists. May I request of you, the Environmental Protection Agency, ask them for a copy of this document. You will find that it does not exist. There was no 5-year or 10-year plan for such a road until Rio Tinto dictated and designed one for them. Remember the need and the purpose. Noteworthy is the fact that very early on in these discussions, Mr. Darrell Sundberg of the Marquette County Road Commission slipped and in fact called the Woodlands Road a, quote, Kennecott Hall Road. I applaud you in raising your concerns and your objections. I hold them as well. As you might know or suspect, this proposed road will not be one road. It will ultimately be, if they have their way with us, an entire district, a lattice work of roads from Big Bay to Keweenaw Bay. Yep. Laying waste to one of Michigan's, if not the Upper Great Lakes, last remaining wildernesses. Not only will there be a north-south road, there will be east-west routes. The entire region will be open to the prospect of mining. Also, why is Rio Tinto utilizing the services of the Marquette County Road Commission as their handmaiden? Allowing a public entity to apply for permits on behalf of a private mining interest sets a dangerous precedent for our future. Yeah? Okay. Bottom line, the EPA must consider foreseeable industrial activities throughout this region as potential impacts if County Road 595 is built. I also pose this question and other request to the EPA. Ask Rio Tinto to lay its cards on the table. First there was the mine, then there was the mill, now there's the road. They are purposely doing business piecemeal. Now we find out they're requesting from our DNR the mineral leases over in Beriga, Southern Houghton, and Iron County. What are they up to? Ask them to lay their cards on the table.
Thank you for your
Thank
comment.
Jim Douglas, Humboldt Township. I fully support this road, but not for the obvious reasons. I respect your objections, and I understand them very fully. But I have another aspect to take a look at. The area of 595 is a very remote area. It's just a 2-track road all the way up to Big Bay. If a forest fire were to start in that area, we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of land and stream crossings and everything else that will be totally destroyed. That is the legacy that I want for my 24 descendants that I work 75 hours a week to provide for. I understand, but I think you've got to look at the balance of the entire situation. I don't care what you call a road. I'm looking at it from the standpoint of what is safety, what is the end result best for every citizen of Marquette County. I don't have to agree with it, I don't have to believe in it, but I have to respect it. I have lived in Marquette County for 52 years. I have driven on almost every road in Marquette County. And when you consider the gases from the diesel engines, you start talking about all these alternatives, we got to look at the whole balance of the whole body. You can get by without one hand or with one arm. But if you can't breathe, what good is the arms and the legs and the water? Because you can't drink it. So I think look at the entire project, what can happen if this and that happens. Thank you.
I'm Lillian Hildreth, last name spelled H-E-L-D-R-E-T-H. Marquette County resident for 40 years. The issue here is whether or not we shall sacrifice the integrity and balance of one of Michigan's Upper Peninsula's few remaining open and undeveloped wetlands areas to provide a certain degree of convenience for some of the Marquette County citizens and to save a great deal of money for a very large, very wealthy corporation.
Foreign corporation.
Foreign corporation, thank you for the correction. Personally, I do not relish the idea of dealing with heavy truck traffic on roads that I'm accustomed to traveling easily. But I don't believe that any of the alternatives presented here tonight would cause me to do that anyway. However, I like far less the thought that if we build the road, it is being built for one reason only, to provide a haul road for Rio Tinto, a foreign company. Dig that name. Otherwise, it's a road through nowhere to nowhere, and it will forever turn the nowhere it bisects into somewhere else where people can run their machines and throw their trash, a place where a solitary hunter can no longer walk in silence. Worse, it will destroy this fragile and complex ecosystem, which makes up a vital part of what sustains us. Places like this one, relatively wild and undisturbed, are the lungs and kidneys of the organism that, whether some of us realize it or not, is what supports our life. We cannot live without such places where organisms both larger than we and smaller than we can live undisturbed in that complex web that keeps everything breathing. Such places can protect us against climate change, clean our air, and purify our water. Pavement cannot do that. Mines cannot do that. Planted stands of only one kind of tree or acres of cornfields cannot do that. Only a mixed and healthy system of forest and wetlands cannot do that. Yet we keep destroying the living mechanisms that keep us alive so that we can have more convenience and more money. You are the Environmental Protection Agency. Please, for the sake of future generations, for life itself, deny this permit and do your job.
Good evening, Paul Rohde, RHODEA. I've been connected to this area for over 40 years and calling it home for 13 years or so. I worked for Rio Tinto as a construction manager. I am considered a local hire, like 60% of the other people. Many of them NMU graduates, they're Michigan Tech graduates. I'm speaking for myself tonight, but I'm showing you that I don't feel that the villain that is being described is quite the villain that people are worried about. In regards to 550, we just heard something about saving money. In reality, using 550 is the most economical path to use. Rio Tinto does not prefer to use that path. They prefer 595 for the reason public safety, social license. I was going to mention the petition. The one lady brought it forward, over 900 signatures. So it does get people thinking in terms of traffic. You've heard that on numerous fronts. So we would not be the only people transferring over to 595. You heard about the lumber industry, you heard about aggregate, and certainly recreational travel. Not to mention the emergency access, especially for fire prevention. My main focus has been on permitting this road with Rio Tinto the last year and a half. You heard about the 640 acres of preservation, of wetland preservation, which is more than double the normal Michigan ratio. Skipping ahead, I can also attest for Rio's sensitivity for the environment during construction and safety. I've been in the construction industry for nearly 40 years, and I remain impressed by their drive for zero harm, not spilling when spills are taken care of, and if they occur, they're immediately taken care of. The company has talked about financing this road if it's able to start next June. If it goes later than that, it's not viable, it's less attractive. It's still valuable for other users, but our value diminishes greatly if it doesn't support the project timeline.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
James Hahn. My name is Jim Hahn from Skaney, Michigan. I put my hat on because why I'm here goes back to a long time ago when I took an oath to my country that I would defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Now we have a domestic enemy that seems that they can do whatever they want with one of the tools of America's sovereignty, and that's their self-sufficiency, which includes our natural resources. We have a corporation here that is owned by the same family that owns so much else of the wealth of this nation, including your Federal Reserve and many of the banks in Europe, almost all of them. They also control most of the resources. They're the people that have brought you this week $4.19 a gallon gasoline. And you can trust them. I mean, they built that wall to hide that operation from you, and you can go ahead and trust them that they're looking out for your interests. They don't. I've dealt with these people when I was a UAW chairman in Pontiac, Michigan, at a plant that used to employ 1,100 people, did $1.8 billion worth of business. They now have 200 people and about $300 million worth of business. That corporation was taken over by some of these same people. I will give you my website if you want to write it down in a minute. But politicians have always promised things to us. Way back in the 80s when I saw us being deindustrialized and our jobs sent to China, we were told that we were going to a different type of an economy which is based on service. You don't need those industries. Well, now you're here begging for jobs with a corporation that belongs to the enemy, traditional enemy of America, and that is the British Empire.
And China.
And the Chinese are going to get the minerals, and they're the ones that got the factories from you. That's where your jobs went. And do you think that if they were good enough to allow you to have $2 a gallon gas, that unemployment rate wouldn't drop down to 6% within months? You'd have more disposable income. The economy would get a bigger jolt than they ever had. But still, they're raising it. They're bringing you to a point of servitude. 39% of the savings of the middle class has been taken in the last few years by these very same people. If you want to have a website to get an article that's 20 pages long that I wrote, it is email scooter@up.net, SCOOTER@up.net. I'll get you a copy free. I have some with me. They cost $1.65.
Next commenter.
We need to have a couple minutes too. The politicians got us here. Thank you.
Just wanted to, I had lots to say, but a lot of it's already been touched on already. But I just wanted to say I'm not opposed to mining or logging, but that 595 route is something that you'll destroy forever. Spend a night up there, one night, and listen. You don't hear anything. You put a road through there, you're going to hear nothing but Jake brakes and Harley Davidson. Believe you me. You'll change it for your kids, generations after generations. There's alternative routes. If you have to do it, take the least environmental impact route. Common sense. I mean, a 10-year-old could see that. Mulligan is less impact than 595. Red Road's less impact than 595. just use common sense and think about people. There's a lot of people who spend a lot of time up there and it's gonna change forever. So just put some common sense, think about people who really enjoy the wilderness. Because it is a wilderness area. And if somebody gets hurt up there, that's a wilderness area. I'm gonna shoot it. Come on. That's all I got to say, thanks.
The 595 corridor prior to Rio Tinto's need for a mine haul road. The fact that Rio Tinto's approved mine plan.
Frank Jeff Verito, V-E-R-I-T-O, Marquette. These are my opinions. The County Road 595 proposal is a different version of the denied Woodland Road under the guise that it's not quite as destructive. Even the enclosed small-scale map in the EPA mailing depicted that much more than enough wetlands are affected to warrant your denial of County Road 595 for the same reasons. To replace existing wetlands with unnatural ones is ludicrous. The threatened wetlands are perfect just as they are, right where they belong, in prime moose habitat. Let no one convince you on the argument that there are already roads along much of the route. Note the difference between narrow dirt roads and an engineered thoroughfare. We've seen Kennecott demonstrate the epitome of the hurdle-by-hurdle approach that corporations and the MDEQ, for that matter, use to cram their exploits down our throats. A done deal from day one. Kennecott's original application stated the company's intention to produce power on site and to use existing transportation routes. They sought to get their foot in the door before moving on to the next hurdle. No citizen could get away with behaving this way. To watch the MDEQ ride along with these widely known tactics has sickened many. Suddenly, an untold number of trees were destroyed for power lines, followed by an urgent need for a haul road that would consume more acreage than the blighted mine site itself, not to mention future access for major exploitation over some of this country's last wildest remaining terrain east of the Mississippi. We're all here tonight because of the mine, despite the other proclaimed uses for the road. We saw Kennecott use the permitting process and regulations as instruction manuals on how to force in a mine, even when experts claim there's no way to accomplish sulfide mining safely below such a fragile aquifer. Please consider that many times the wetlands will be threatened by this road over its lifespan than by the construction route itself. This road opens up the farthest reaches of Marquette County to major exploitation, all on lies that a company with a poor track record used to get its foot in the door, to generate power on site and to use existing haul routes.
Thank you, sir.
Jeremiah Moran, Big Bend, Michigan. I support your objections to County Road 595, and I would like all this wilderness and area to stay preserved for future generations. Thank you.